The Ocala Golf Club, one of Ocala's premier golf courses, from its pristine 18-hole course layout to its amazing pro shop. Jason Linhart and the staff at Ocala Golf offer everything that you need for your golf outing. That's the Ocala Golf Club. Experience country club style golf at municipal prices. You won't go wrong with the Ocala Golf Club. Call them for a tee time today, 352-401-6917. That's right. It's In the Garden with Master Gardener Carol Ann Baldwin. She joins us every Tuesday, taking your phone calls, your text messages, your emails, tom@woca.com. 622-9622 is the number to call if you want to be a part of the program. She is Master Gardener Carol Ann Baldwin. Carol Ann, good morning to you.
Good morning, Tom. How are you doing this morning?
I've been better, but I've been worse, so I can't complain.
That's it.
Can't
Yep.
complain. Yesterday was supposed to be a deluge where there were actually flood warnings and watches out. It was supposed to give us 1 to 3 inches of rain.
Didn't get nothing.
I got .004.
Yeah. I didn't get anything, but it did down further south of us. It really apparently got, what was that, Sanford? And,
Sanford.
Really?
Sanford lost roads and flash floods. A restaurant, people were standing on their chairs on the outside of a restaurant as a flash flood
just came through.
They said they heard rustling, looked up, and here come a wall of water coming at them. And they stood up in their chairs as it ran about 3 foot deep, ran through the restaurant's picnic, outdoor area.
It's crazy. It's
They got 6 inches of rain in Sanford yesterday.
That's a bunch
in about 2 hours.
Yeah. I'm going to say that probably wasn't real beneficial to most gardens.
But was to the aquifer probably.
Well,
eventually.
But it ran off
Eventually.
the rivers, the streams and stuff. Yeah,
Right.
where it all collected stormwater definitely got a flush out, that's for sure.
I forget sometimes about aquifer entrances and everything.
Yeah.
And yesterday we were my wife and I were going to my doctor's appointment. And we had eaten lunch, and we were still about an hour to kill before the doctor's appointment. So we went to Scott Springs Park.
Okay.
Right there on Easy Street.
Yeah.
Because you forget that cave little area is just a big open sinkhole.
It's a sinkhole, right.
Which it's open to the aquifer.
Right.
When water rolls into that, it goes to the aquifer.
Right. Which it's, being that it's park around it now, is protecting that from regular stormwater runoff and things like that, so that all that grassy area, all the trees that are there,
filter that water before
that as it's coming towards it, because you figure you've got the Walmart, you've got Easy Street, you've got a lot of stuff right nearby.
And when we looked at it, it's probably 40 feet across, 40 feet width, long, probably from the observation deck, which is where the water edge is, over to the cave areas, it's probably 20 feet. So it's probably a 40 by 20 hole. And I thought that's a big entrance to the aquifer. And then I went on the Extension Service website and looked at the aquifer size and everything. It's just a little pinhole.
It's like it's an anthill on top of the on top of
it's just a little pinhole.
Yeah, just like you look at the anthill. You see an anthill
2 inches
that's
above,
2
feet below.
2 feet below. So it's
it looks like a big entrance to the aquifer.
Right. But if you think about it too, that's just one place that Scott Springs. Right. Then you've got Brick City.
Same deal.
Has another one just the same kind of way. And then over, if you look at the retention areas that are at 31st/32nd Street, they're at 441. That's another cave area that's almost pretty well a direct entrance down to the aquifer. There's down above you, just over.
Go to Williston, towards Williston.
Go to Williston. Devil's Millhop.
No, not
Devil's Den.
Devil's Den is in Williston.
And then you got Devil's Millhop in Gainesville,
which is also an open.
Yep.
And then you got Ravine. People don't remember Ravine Gardens in Palatka is actually an open aquifer hole.
Right.
It looks like a canyon, but it's actually open. And then yesterday, behind my doctor's office, I was amazed.
Yeah.
My doctor's office is right off of 27th Avenue.
Okay.
You go just past the entrance to the mall.
Okay.
And then you take the first left after you pass the mall.
Okay.
After Walmart.
Right.
And there's an office complex back there. Well, the backside of the office complex drops down 150 feet.
Oh.
Yeah, there's just a rock wall there.
Oh.
And it drops down. And I was like, so I looked down there and there's trash everywhere. And there's a homeless guy walking down there and everything. But I thought, I had no idea that there's a 100-foot drop
behind that building.
But this area of Florida, you get places like that.
You do
the
have
Indian
some,
caves and everything. You get stuff like that all over this area.
There is, and actually, even there's some other areas. If you drive and you just if you have the ability to slow down a little bit on some of the back roads and seeing, I mean, it might be something on your route regularly, and you just realize, going, wait a minute, that house is way higher. But if you look, because maybe they trimmed some shrubs or something, you look and you go, wow, that's got a drop off back there.
Yeah, it's things you don't notice and you have to look for.
Right.
And I didn't notice. We just happened to be, because I needed to walk around. My legs were stiff. So I needed to walk around my doctor's parking lot.
Right.
And we walked to the back edge of the parking lot, and I went,
ooh,
holy
wow.
shnikes, Batman.
Holy moly, yeah.
I mean, it was a good 100 foot to the bottom.
Wow, yeah.
And it good trees down at the bottom that had grown up.
That come up and through.
There were vines that were probably 4 or 5 inches around that you could have easily swung from trees.
Right, yeah, probably grapevine or
big old things.
Yeah.
But,
I mean, you look. I mean, just you figure the springs are a bubbling up of
the world's largest artesian well.
Yeah.
Is Silver Springs.
Yeah.
My sister's coming to town. She'll be here for. She's crazy. She's not smart.
I was gonna say she's your sister.
I'm the normal one.
Okay.
I have 2 sisters and me, and my mother before she passed. I'm the normal one.
Okay.
I know. So that says a lot about my family. I'm just telling you. Can say right away. But my sister is in town, and the reason I call her the crazy one is at 18, she moved from Florida.
Oh, to where?
And never came back except to visit. This is, I think, her 6th or 7th visit back.
Wow.
From Minnesota.
Ooh. Yeah, I'd say she's crazy.
A Florida girl.
In Minnesota?
That at 18. She's lived longer in Minnesota than she did in Florida.
She's a transplant that took root.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
When you listen to her talk, she's from Minnesota.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. She doesn't have the southern vernacular at all. She's from Minnesota.
Wow.
I laugh at her all the time. I go, you're just a redneck from Jacksonville. Stop. Just stop.
She's a sun bunny and a snow bunny outfit.
Yeah. So, but she's lived, she lives now about 2.5 hours north of Minneapolis.
Wow. So right up there.
It's cold where she lives.
Yeah.
It's cold.
Oh.
When I call her in January and laugh at her, and she just hangs up the phone.
I was going to say, she shouldn't even care
because
she made the choice to be there.
I call her and she goes, hello, and I just start laughing. She hangs up the phone. Because I look to make sure it's one of these days in January where we're like at
and like
81.
82. Gorgeous. What
and
are
you
those
look at Minnesota. You look at Minnesota, and in Minneapolis,
minus 20.
In Minneapolis, it's -8. And she lives 2.5 miles north of Minneapolis. 2.5 hours north. So I know it's colder than -8. So I just call her and laugh. She doesn't find it funny.
I was going to say take pictures outside with
But
her,
I'm like, you're the one that moved there, and I'm not going to date her. I'm not going to date her, but just know she's older than me.
Okay.
And she moved there when she was 18.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's just I moved. See, now I was not polar opposite because she went to the other end of the earth. Actually,
she went to the polar vortex.
Yeah. But when I moved here, I became, and a lot of people think I am a Floridian. It's like, no, I just was never supposed to be in the north.
Where are you from originally?
Originally, I'm from New Jersey.
The southern part, central part, or northern part?
More southwestern, across from Philly.
Right near Philly.
Right near Philly. That's my dad worked in Philly.
Yeah.
So it was that southwestern.
So go down the AC Park. Go down the AC Parkway about an hour.
Okay.
Towards Atlantic City, you come to a little town called Hamilton, New Jersey.
Yeah, I think I've heard
of it.
The
blueberry capital of the world.
I think we used to camp in that area because we'd take the rowboat. You weren't allowed a power boat unless it had electric motor out on the lake. It was a cedar water lake. If anybody knows what cedar water is, it's red. If you wear a white T-shirt in there, it's going to come out red. But we'd go all the way across the lake, and there'd be the blueberries actually standing in the water, and we'd just sit there and pick a couple buckets full of them until you'd hear, I guess, the farmer's dogs coming, and then we hightailed it out of there with the rowboat. So
you were stealing blueberries, what you were doing?
Yeah, we were stealing blueberries. But hey, they were in the water down the lake that belonged to the campground. So
yeah, well. You can.
But we were kids, so we figured we were about to be in trouble, so we took off. But they were always so good at blueberries because I think the ones that you filch off somebody else's tree usually taste better.
My folks in that area were blueberry farmers, and they got the idea. Hey, what if because they were sending their blueberries up to central New Jersey to pack them.
Oh, okay.
So they were paying shipping costs and everything.
Right.
And
why don't they just start packing them themselves?
One of them said, why don't we just buy all the blueberries from around here instead of growing blueberries
and
package the blueberries? And one of my relatives was like, well, we've been blueberry farming. The other was like, yeah, but I don't like blueberry farming. And so they started collecting them. Now, all over the Northeast, you'll have Lonza blueberries everywhere. Oh, yeah. Lonza blueberries is one of the organic. Okay. It's like one of the in-crowd organic blueberries. Right. That's us.
Ah, okay.
The Lonza blueberries. Right. They're actually all the organic growers from that part of Southeastern.
Them. Yeah,
and they sell them to Lonza's, and then Lonza's puts their stamps on them and sells them.
They're the packing house,
So everybody thinks they're Lonza blueberries, but they're they're just New Jersey
they're
blueberries.
New Jersey. It's a co-op. And
people forget because this is what gets me. People with bad attitudes. Matter of fact, let's take a phone call and then take a break, and then we'll come back and talk more about New Jersey. Good morning. You're on with Carol Ann Baldwin.
Morning.
Hello.
Good morning.
Morning, Hugh.
Hey, New Jersey's called the Garden State, I believe. And why did every state has gardens?
Well,
how did they get that name?
Hugh, that was going to be what we were going to talk about when we come back from break. So
we'll take a break and we're going to
take a break, and then we'll get into it.
Hey, sounds good. In the meantime, did you enjoy?
Hugh went away.
We lost you.
We lost you.
Yeah, but we'll get into it. We'll get into all of that.
Yeah, we'll take a break. We'll be right back after the timeout on 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
Hey there, Dr. Manal Fakori here. As a small business owner, CEP member, and former chair of our Chamber of Commerce, I know firsthand how important public-private collaboration is for smart growth. Ocala needs leadership focused on increasing good-paying jobs, fostering small business growth, and building the infrastructure to sustain the population and business growth for our city. On September 21st, vote for a prosperous Ocala. Vote Dr. Manal Fakori for mayor.
Veterans Helping Veterans USA. Call 352-433-2320. We help veterans and their families with limited financial assistance, counseling, employment referrals, and a food and clothing bank. You can help in making a huge difference in the veterans' lives we serve by donating food, clothing, household items, or direct financial assistance. All donations are tax deductible. Veterans Helping Veterans USA. 352-433-2320. Thank you for your attention, and God bless America.
Thank you. It's something we want you to know at Seminole Feed Stores. We want to show you how much we care by having our annual Customer Appreciation Sale, September 25th and 26th at our 40 West and Bellevue locations. We invite you to enjoy $2 off Seminole Wellness Horse Feeds, $1 off all Seminole feeds, 15% off in-store items, and much more. Our 40 West location will also feature food trucks and a Grand View Clydesdale. Come see us September 25th and 26th with store hours at 40 West, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Saturday and 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Sunday. Our Bellevue location will be open from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. on Saturday. Find us on Facebook or Instagram at Seminole Stores. It's Seminole Stores Customer Appreciation Day. With a prize for every purchase, we make it easy to provide you the ingredients of a winner.
Welcome back to In the Garden with Master Gardener Carol Ann Baldwin. Before we get started with any more questions, I have to tell you, I keep getting emails and text messages about why we are endorsing Manal Fakori. We are not endorsing Manal Fakori. We are playing paid advertisements from Manal Fakori and Jay Musley. They both are running for office. The FCC federal regulations say that we must, any viable candidates that come and pay for time on the radio, we must, as a radio station, allow their commercials to play. So in no way do these commercials entail any endorsement of any candidate. It just means the candidate did the right thing, bought airtime, spent their money to try to sway your vote. In no way is it an endorsement by the radio station. It is just a candidate doing exactly what a candidate should do, buying airtime to advertise their candidacy. So I had to put that out there. Sorry, Caroline. I had to put that out there.
Quite all right.
A lot of people are thinking we're endorsing
right,
candidates.
and it's actually the law that you guys have to. If they come in, and like you say, a viable candidate, any candidate can. You cannot decline.
I cannot refuse them because I do not agree with them.
Right.
Whether it's Jay Musley, Manal Fakori, Kent
or
Gwynn, whomever.
Right.
I have to, if they come in with money and an advertising buy, we have to sell it to them.
Right.
So the question was, why is New Jersey the Garden State? Now, what I was going to say before was I always hear people when they talk about New Jersey, I've never lived there.
Right.
But I've been there hundreds of times. Hundreds of times. And when people say, "Oh, it's the armpit of New York City," okay, Newark Newark and up in that area, it's pretty much New York City. Okay,
right, exactly.
It's Newark should be one of the boroughs.
Right.
Paramus should be part of one of the boroughs. Okay, I'll give you that. Then they say, well, and then Trenton is terrible because of Philadelphia. I'll give you just across the border from Pennsylvania. Yeah. But the central and southern part of the states are actually what fed New York and Pennsylvania for years.
Right,
Agriculture was something that, 150 years ago, 90% of the country were farmers.
Exactly.
Okay? People forget in the 1880s, 1870s, people were farmers. That was right before the Industrial Revolution. Right before the Industrial Revolution, they were farmers. Mm-hmm. And New Jersey, the state of New Jersey, fed New Jersey, Delaware, Pennsylvania, and New York.
Right. And I think part of it is, even though it's up in the Northeast, it still has a very fertile ground because you have the river. You have the river and you have the ocean. It's a fairly small state, narrow state actually.
And it's not rocky. The soil was good.
And you had fairly good growing conditions because the mountains normally would keep cold fronts from coming across or early snows.
Yeah, it doesn't snow heavy in New Jersey. It does snow in New Jersey.
It doesn't usually
heavily.
Come early.
Right.
Not normally. Now they have had, in recent years, they have had snow at Thanksgiving, snow for Christmas, the white Christmas, whole thing. When I was a kid, most of the time you had rain on Christmas and snow on Easter. Right.
But you go to Jersey Shore, and very seldom do they get snow at all.
Oh, right. Just, it comes across. I think Atlantic probably gets snow as much as Jersey Shore might do. Yeah. But, and Jersey is known for their tomatoes.
Yes.
Very much so, just like we were talking about the Vidalia onions, being for Georgia. And, the sweet corn coming out of Jersey is
good.
Fantastic. The Silver Queen and things like that. And the proximity to the oceans and things like that for like intercoastal type waters where you've got seafood industries.
You go down around Tom's River and that area, and
it's all fishing. It's fishing villages.
Right. You go down there, it's all fishing. Mm-hmm. Now you go in the southern part on the AC Expressway. Mm-hmm. It's very flat land, so it's very easy to farm. There's farm fields. I mean, people don't realize this. There are tractor crossing and deer crossing signs everywhere in South Jersey.
Yes, and where I grew up, they built my high school in the middle of a dairy pasture.
Yeah.
I mean, so when the wind blew just right in May and before school got out, it was quite aromatic.
Let me tell you something.
Winter's Dairy, Sunnyside Farms.
The students at North Marion High School know exactly what you're talking about. Yep.
But it was pretty neat. I mean, would be a special treat. And I mean, it was all of 3 to 4 miles from the house. I mean, I lived in a big subdivision, but Winter's Farm or Sunnyside Farms was where you went for milk,
right?
And ice cream, because you'd get a half gallon of chocolate milk and you'd get a half gallon of milk and mix them because the chocolate milk was just too rich.
Oh yeah, we would go. Gustafson Farms was us in Jacksonville. Okay. Yeah. Gustafson Farms, what we went to.
But the ice cream would be so fresh. The last time I actually had ice cream up there has been probably, God, I hate to say it, almost 10 years ago. But you'd get your fresh ice cream, and there's a little calf that they had out in the little pen there. So you're sitting outside. You're sitting there having an ice cream, and you can pet the little calf. And
by then though
cool.
you had the electric ice cream
Yes,
maker.
yes, it was. But
Remember as a kid?
Still, it was a nice. It definitely wasn't a soft serve. I mean, this ice cream, you had to use your spoon.
Remember as a kid?
It didn't melt.
Remember as a kid, the rock salt and the handle, you had to turn the handle to make the ice cream?
Oh, we just went to Sunnyside.
we as a kid, we had an ice cream maker that we'd set up on the porch.
Right.
And it was a big canister, and you turn the thing.
Yeah, rock salt and
rock
ice.
Salt. As a kid, you'd be, I want to do it. You'd turn it 3 or 4 times. Okay, who's taking over now?
Who's next? Yeah. See, now I cheat. Well, I don't cheat. I have done at, they make a thing that you can take camping.
Yes.
That has the little cylinder in there, and you put all your ingredients in there and screw that one down, and then you put your ice and your salt in the other and screw that around. And you have the kids or whoever, and you just roll it back and forth on the picnic table for about 20 minutes. You come out with about a pint of ice cream, but you know what? It's good.
It's good.
It is. It's good.
Yeah.
But, it's...
So where did the actual name... Because we know it's Garden State,
the Garden State.
But who actually named it the Garden State?
It was Abraham Browning of Camden.
Farmer.
Given credit to giving New Jersey the nickname the Garden State. According to Alfred Heston's 1926 2-volume book, Jersey Wagon Jaunts, Browning called New Jersey the Garden State while speaking at the Philadelphia Centennial Celebration on New Jersey Day in 1876, August 24th. Browning said that our Garden State is an immense barrel filled with good things to eat and open at both ends, with Pennsylvania grabbing from one end and New Yorkers from the other. The name stuck ever since. However, Benjamin Franklin is credited with a similar comparison of New Jersey to a barrel tapped at both ends. Some have used that to discredit Browning with naming the Garden State. 1954, the state legislature...
Ben Franklin wants credit for everything, doesn't he?
Oh, yeah. Well, he's the father of France.
Yeah. He is the father of France. He is the father of modern France.
In 1954, the state legislature passed a bill to have the Garden State added to the state license plates.
It's there.
Yep, and it's there. And but it's it's kind of a neat thing. But I mean, even as a kid, I mean, the pumpkin patches and things like that were available.
A
lot of farm
corn
areas
mazes
still,
and the pumpkin patches.
A lot of farm areas still there.
Still in Jersey.
Yes.
Good morning. You're on with Master Gardener Carol Ann Baldwin.
Good morning, everybody.
Morning.
I have a question here on the sidewalk at the house and the driveway.
Mm-hmm.
It's loaded with these little, I guess they're caterpillars. They're like maybe
centipedes or
3/4 of an inch long.
Yeah, they're probably centipedes. They're probably not caterpillars.
Yeah, well, that's what they look more like.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep, they're coming up out of the. Yeah, they're coming up out of the lawn because of the rains. That the ground is saturated, so they're coming up. They're really not doing much except for being annoying and all over the driveway and sidewalk, or trying maybe to come up into the garage. They're coming up out of the ground for dry area. So if you can just deal with the nuisance, it'll go away soon.
Oh yeah, okay. And I saw a little thing on TV. The gal had. Centipedes in her hand, big ones. But
right.
They're good like earthworms. So.
Well, they're both hard shelled. They're both hard shell, and that they have multiple legs. The millipedes, what does it have? I just did a quick look. Millipedes have 2 sets of legs per segment. And I always forget one's flat and one's round. The centipede, I believe, is the. Let me get images. Maybe I can, if that'll work, and get me a better one. Millipede versus centipede. Give me my picture. Millipede is the flat one, and the centipede is the more rounded. That looks like a, maybe you'd say, well, I wouldn't say an earthworm only because they're that low, they're that thick. But the flat millipedes are, millipede is the round one. I'm looking at my picture wrong. Centipede is the flat one.
Thank you for the call.
Okay, well, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. Yeah, they're really just, I mean, most of the time, and I'll go into it here off the air. Not off the air, off the phone.
Got about 10 seconds.
Okay, the millipede is going to be they're going to both be in rotting logs, leaves, bark, under stones and things like that. The millipede doesn't bite, the centipede can, but it's usually they're mostly just a nuisance.
We'll be back after this timeout. You're listening to 1370 AM, 96.3 FM. This is WOCA, The Source.
USA Radio News with Lance Pry.
Pfizer said Monday its COVID-19 vaccine works for children ages 5 to 11 and that it will seek U.S. authorization for this age group soon. The vaccine is made by Pfizer and its German partner BioNTech. Since day one of the pandemic in the United States, less than 450 children ages 0 to 17 have died from coronavirus. A civil lawsuit filed Monday against a Texas doctor who revealed that he helped perform an abortion on a woman more than 6 weeks pregnant. That's in violation of the new heartbeat law, an attempt to save voiceless children's lives from death. Alan Braid said he carried out the abortion on September 6 on a woman who was still in her first trimester but was beyond the 6-week limit. He claims it was because of his duty to care to the patient. Braid's case could test the constitutionality of the new Texas law, which took effect September 1st. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau's Liberal Party has won a minority government after a close election battle Monday. USA Radio News.
New surveys show that Americans don't think vaccines are enough to protect themselves and others from COVID-19. 80% want thermometers used in public places to screen for COVID-19. 36% know that non-contact devices are inaccurate, and 60% would not recommend that friends or family members enter places that screen with them. To be safe, use Exergen at home, at work, and in public. It's the only thermometer proven accurate by more than 100 published clinical studies. Learn more at Exergen.com.
Are you tired of high cable TV rates?
September 21st. September 21st. Why do I keep repeating September 21st? Because that's when the Ocala residents have the privilege of helping determine how Ocala is governed. By voting, Ocala residents then have a voice in local issues. Every vote matters. Voting is a privilege. It's also your responsibility. If you don't vote, you give up the right to complain about the outcome. So what are you going to be doing on September 21st? You're going to go out and vote September 21st.
Get it for less at the DIY Home Center outlet. Get top quality real wood cabinets the same or less than the big box stores are selling the cheap stuff. And that's not all. Drywall screws big box stores are $6.47 a pound. At DIY, only $4.99. Plus, DIY has the largest selection of mobile home parts and accessories anywhere. From carpet to doors, get the DIY supplies you need for less. The DIY Home Center outlet. We are your building material closeout store. 2191 Northwest 10th Street, just 2 miles east of I-75.
Johnny, what are you doing in the bathroom? What are you saying? Wait, where are your toy cars? Oh no, tell me you didn't. Honey, call Mike Scott Plumbing.
I didn't do anything.
For once, that's true, but little Johnny flushed his toys down the toilet and now it's broke.
Yes. No. I'll get the phone. What's the toll-free number?
866-314-4443.
Got it. 866-314-4443.
Mike Scott Plumbing. If water runs through it, they do it.
Celebrity Soul Food flagship restaurant is now here in Ocala. Best-in-class service and legendary recipes. You'll be elevated with a classy design in this 3,800 square foot restaurant with a menu that has scratch-made dishes prepared with a VIP experience for every guest. Located at 2237 Southwest 19th Avenue, right on Easy Street. Celebrity Soul Food. This is food with soul.
Election days today. Hi, it's Dr. Manal Fakori, candidate to be our next mayor of Ocala. No matter who you're voting for, please go out and vote today. Elections are the sacred foundation of our democracy, and every voice counts. Go to votemarion.gov to find out where to vote and get to your polling place before 7 p.m. today to vote for Dr. Manal Fakori for mayor.
Help shape the youth of Marion County through the game of golf. Join fellow golfers in support of the 11th annual Marion County Juniors Golf Scholarship Tournament on Monday, September 27th at the prestigious Golden Ocala Golf and Equestrian Club. There'll be great prizes, goodie bags, even lunch at the clubhouse after the round. Don't miss your chance to play this renowned course with all its world-class replica holes while supporting a worthy cause. Sign up today by visiting MarionCountyJuniorGolf.com and help shape the youth of Marion County. Sponsorship opportunities still available. Welcome back to Ocala Talks. It is In the Garden with Master Gardener Carol Ann Baldwin. She's here taking your call. 622-9622 is the number to call. 622-9622 is the number to call if you want to be a part of the show. Carol Ann, I want to ask you, I saw a report in the Ocala Star Banner.
Okay.
That I haven't talked about yet, but I was going to talk about, but I waited for you to be on the show to talk about it first. 86% of the fish in Silver Spring are invasive tilapia.
Oh.
86% of the fish in Silver Springs are the invasive tilapia.
Wow.
How much of that, we always talk about water runoff and nitrogen
and
how it gets, things get in and kill the certain grasses and other things. How much is that relatable to these invasive fish helping take over? Because they seem to like the grasses that are in Silver Springs now.
Right, and they're probably outbreeding, compete. Yeah, that's where the invasive comes in.
86%.
Wow. And so they are able to eat, say, the other invasive type species or the algae and things like that are occurring because of blooms and things like that. I'm not sure fully what their diet and things are on that, but usually what happens when you get a population like that is all you needed was a couple of breeders and they'll begin to reproduce.
Right.
It's not like fish take a mate for life.
No.
And it's
they just
they'll
drop
breed,
eggs
they
and
drop
keep
eggs
moving.
and it keeps gets them fertilized. And so if they can outfeed, reproduce, they can outcompete the native species. The same thing with the Cuban tree frog. The Cuban tree frog can actually eat the little native tree frog because he's so much bigger. Again, the tilapia might even be eating small native fishes, before they're of size to, like I said, I'm not sure the full diet of a tilapia.
You always hear about the runoff, though, into the springs.
Right,
Helps.
into the different.
It's killing certain.
It kills off certain grasses, or it brings in other, other thing. Yeah, you get the invasive or the non or the troublesome algae blooms and things like that, which kill off some of the grasses and things like that. And so it ends up being a horrible cycle. I did not realize that there was that 86%.
According to Star Banner, 86% of the fish in the springs are the invasive tilapia.
I wonder whether, it's like, how did they get there? Why did somebody
why
probably
can't I go throw a fishing net down in there and have me some food?
And that should be the way, because just like the lionfish down in the the Keys and stuff, they actually hunt them. Please, they will pay you to take them out of the water.
Yeah, tilapia is a fish that everybody eats.
A lot of people eat the tilapia. That it should be one of those kind of things. You're going, okay, how are we going to? And I'm sure they are looking into that now.
They are.
That of how are we going to manage this and get that population down? Because, like you say, it's going to end up being one of those kind of things of either, I don't know, netting up and re-releasing the native fishes, or captive breeding native fishes in order to repopulate.
Well, it's
the
like
areas.
I know of a situation in Hawthorne, Florida, the Putnam County side of Hawthorne.
Okay.
On a lake called Cowpen Lake.
Okay.
Now, I know all the parties involved, but I won't give up the parties involved.
No.
They'll be you change the names to protect the innocent.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or the guilty, depending on how you look at it. But I know that there was a group who they knew a guy who had connections in, say, a state just north of Florida.
Okay.
Now, I won't tell you who that guy was, but he had connections with people just north of the state of Florida. And just north of the state of Florida, you can go buy sterile carp.
Right.
Now, carp is an invasive species.
Right.
But they also eat milfoil grass.
Okay.
And milfoil grass will destroy a lake.
Okay.
If you got a lake, it'll get in the boat propeller.
Right.
It chokes out the
ecosystem. It's probably an invasive species in its own. Yeah.
But Florida Fish and Wildlife won't let you put carp in because carp eats it. It's like because carp eat everything else first. They say before they get the milfoil. And then carp reproduce
very easily.
So this said person that won't be named from that has friends across the state line just north went and got. I've heard somewhere in the neighborhood of 1,000. Sterile carp.
Wow, that's a lot.
And it's over 800 acre lake.
Okay.
It's a big lake.
Yeah.
They released these carp that could not reproduce because they're
Right,
sterile.
right, because they're sterile. Yeah.
Cleared up the invasive grass problem in less than 2 years.
Wow.
Now there's big mouth bass back in there. There's crappie.
Yeah, because now
if
if you do a release of the
which they did.
Yeah.
So the same group got together and released fertile bass and
right. And even if you're releasing fingerlings, the perch.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
pan frying.
Crappie,
crappie or whatever. I'm not a big
bluegills,
fisherman. But they released a bunch of those back in.
Okay.
And now the ecosystem
is back to a balance.
And Fish and Wildlife never said anything because they didn't know about it because the lake was in on it.
Right.
And, I think statute of limitations have run out on
Probably,
that group.
Yeah.
I won't give up the guy that went across the state lines and got
right
because he may or may not have a job in, in
some of those fields maybe.
He has a
like
job
that.
somewhere where he may talks for a living or something.
Oh,
And I don't
okay,
want to. I don't want to ruin his job.
Yeah,
I don't want to ruin his.
Right.
But he went with his buddy and brought back 2 coolers full. I've been told.
Yeah.
I've heard the stories.
Yeah. But it's one of those things it's the same type of thing of things like that need to be looked at. And nowadays, we can sterilize pretty much anything. But we have the air potato beetle.
They wanted to spray it.
Yeah.
The Fish and Wildlife kept wanting to spray it, and spraying it killed it from coming out of the water.
Right, but doesn't kill what's underneath.
Hello.
Right. Yeah.
And this was a shot because the lake refilled. It was a shallow lake, and this milfoil grows in shallow areas
and
up towards the sun.
Right. So when you bring the water level up, then
it takes over.
Out. Yeah.
And it was probably in 600 acres of this 800 acre lake.
Wow. But and that is a biological control when you're doing something like that. I mean, the air potato beetle. The only thing that air potato beetle feeds on is the air potato, but I think it also will feed on sweet potato also. But usually
it has no use.
It's not
the
a
air
big,
potato beetle has no use.
I mean, except to feed on the air potato vine.
Right.
But it's not going. Yeah, it's not going to be detrimental to
pine trees.
It's not going to eat pine trees. Not going to eat oak trees. Not going to go and just decimate a tomato crop or peppers.
But it could tear up your sweet potato.
It could tear up a sweet potato crop. But usually, if you're farming sweet potatoes, you don't have any air potato around you.
By the way,
going through and
can I just put a sign up that says these are yams?
Yeah.
Want the air potato beetle, then leave it alone?
No.
These aren't sweet potatoes. These are yams.
No, they won't.
Can't read.
They can't read.
Oh,
can't read.
Well.
Can't read.
What is the difference between a sweet potato and a yam?
As far as I know, really not a whole lot.
I mean, is it the same thing?
I mean, when you buy yams in the grocery store, read the can label. It's sweet potatoes.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't care for either
so
one.
I don't know. Yeah, I like sweet potato pie.
I don't care for it all. No.
Yeah, and actually, and I've heard this pumpkin pies or sweet potato pies are the same thing.
They're not.
But I don't know. Yeah, when you buy them in the stores. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Pumpkin pie is different from sweet potato pie. See, and that's the terrible thing. I don't like sweet potato pie. I don't like pumpkin pie. And are you ready for this?
Don't tell me you don't like pecan pie.
I don't like pecan pie either.
Oh my God, I love pecan pie.
I
love sweet potato, and I don't like sweet. I'm not a sweet potato. Have a sweet potato, have candy sweet. No, but give me pie and I'll eat it.
Yeah, I don't like either
different.
of those pies.
Yeah.
Any of those pies. I'm Dutch apple.
Oh, and see, now when I was a kid, well, we had a cherry tree in Jersey, cherry tree in the corner of the property, and they were the sour pie cherries, fantastic cherries.
Yes.
We'd eat them just as kids anyway, spitting seeds at each other. But we'd pick a mess of them, and Mom would make them into cherry pies, but I didn't want the crust. I didn't like pie crust. Just odd child. So we had to make sure that there was enough cherry pie filling to where Mom could make the pie. Somebody else got my slice, and I had the custard cups filled just with the pie filling.
Right.
So I had mine without crust, sans crust.
It's a little weird.
But hey, it's just like eating the pie filling.
But,
that's all. Yeah, I mean, you take the pie filling and pour it over a cheesecake.
I've eaten pizza all my life.
Yeah.
Very seldom do I eat the pizza crust.
See, and I like the crust.
See,
if it goes far enough back, or you get the flavored crust.
I know people dip it in the butter and everything.
Oh, yeah.
I don't care for it.
Yeah. Well, because then you can't eat another slice if you eat too many the ends.
Well, I will tell you, I do eat the crusted formaggio. So.
Okay.
I do. Have you eaten there yet?
Not yet, but I'm on vacation this coming week.
Oh, there you go.
I'm going. Okay, what do I want to do on vacation? I think I'm going to eat.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
I'm going to eat for vacation. That's,
622-9622 is the number to call if you have any questions about Carol Ann Baldwin for In the Garden. Carol Ann, it's getting to be time again to start reading the directions on the bags.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And actually, I wanted to mention that. Is it not tomorrow's?
Today.
Today. But tomorrow's will be the first
Today's
full day.
the last day. Today is the last day
of summer.
Yeah.
Tomorrow's the first full day of autumn,
vernal
of fall,
equinox.
the vernal equinox. And you know what? I just pulled up, it's just simply the Weather Channel page, and looking through, and you know what? You can tell. The only thing that we have that's still summer-like is extremely high humidity, and that's September.
Yes.
September is just high humidity. But your temperatures are 87, 86, 86, 88, 84, 83. Sunday the 3rd is saying it's going to be 80 for a high. I don't know what the humidity is going to be,
right.
but the lows are going to be on that night 67 degrees.
Yeah, I have.
So fall is coming. I mean, you might not notice a whole lot of difference. I mean, but those of us who live here, we notice it.
Yes.
Those of us who have been here a while, we can tell the difference, and the days are shorter. Yes. I mean, just take a look. When you get home, if you happen to work, I work till 6 o'clock in the evening. Come 7, I'm going, ooh, wait a minute, I got to shut that blind so my poinsettia doesn't get the light. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. And that's what you got to do.
Yeah.
Good morning. You're on with Carol Ann Baldwin.
Good morning again. This is you.
Hey. What's up?
Did you see the beautiful harvest moon this morning?
I did. I took pictures of it.
I didn't step out of the door in time. I was in the house still.
But it was really beautiful. Kind of a crazy question I have: does the moon have any influence on plant life?
Yeah, it does. I mean, there are many people who follow the moon sign planting dates.
Thanks for the call, Hugh.
Yeah, the moon sign planting dates are very big, especially old school farmers. I mean, that's where the almanac came from, was those moon sign planting dates. I'll have to get a new almanac for 22 because I think the old one actually is probably used up by now. Wow, beautiful pictures. Yeah. But
I took a bunch.
Yeah, that there's certain times to plant. Usually we're planting above ground plants that will fruit above ground as the moon is increasing, and then you plant in your below ground as the moon is dissipating because it's going down underground, doing that way. And then there's certain times even during that where you actually have your optimum planting dates within that.
The gravitational pull, the tides, and all.
Yeah, and the tide. Oh, yeah. You look at when we have, and there's certain super tides. When you think about the oceans and things like that, and all of that affects lakes, river. Well, not lakes, but rivers and oceans as well.
Good morning. You're on with Carol Ann Baldwin.
I have a question for her.
Sure. What's up?
The proper time to trim azaleas.
Proper time to trim azaleas. Yeah. Your azaleas are best trimmed after they bloom. So if they are the shade ones that only bloom the once a year kind of ones, I call them the old school ones, the Formosa, the big lavender
Formosa.
Formosa.
See at the Masters golf tournament.
Those huge ones that you'll see planted around oak trees,
pink
around
and white
the
and
pink and the pink. The lavender, and there is white. There's a couple other colors with them, but they're like the Formosa. They're the huge ones. Usually, after they bloom, you can cut them down a lot if they need to be rejuvenated, fertilize them at that time, and then you can trim and shape throughout that growing season. And we usually stop doing any heavy pruning on those ones around trying to remember now, if that one's the July 4th one or if that's the Labor Day. I always get my holidays, going, because you don't want to cut off next year's bloom. So I'd probably be trying to finish all my main pruning by, say, 4th of July on those. If you've got like the Encore azaleas where they're multi-bloomers, they'll bloom
the ones
3
like I have
times
in my
a
front
year.
yard, the little bitty ones.
Right, they're smaller. Well, some of them can get up 3.5 to 5.5 feet, but they're not the big.
And they bloom 2-3 times
a year. After they bloom, trim them, shape them up, give them their fertilizer, and then I would probably try to leave them alone again until they bloom again, because you figure it's about a 4-month cycle that they will then bloom again. So you don't want to prune before that because you'll cut off those buds. You'll begin to see those buds probably after you prune. They begin to grow back. You're looking at 6 weeks for your regrowth and your bud set, and so you don't really want to do any pruning after that. So with the Encore type azaleas, right after bloom, leave them alone. The big formosas you can shape and continue to prune from after bloom until about 4th of July.
Good morning, you're on with Master Gardener Carol Ann Baldwin.
I have another question for her.
Sure. Oh, yeah.
The golden bell. It has a purple flower, and then it's a golden bell?
The golden dewdrop?
Yes.
Okay.
Is that the flower that blooms every day?
Little round gold balls.
Yeah, that's not. Yeah, I know it. Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's golden dewdrop, Duranta, sapphire showers, all kinds of names. What you need to know on that?
The best time to trim that so that you don't mess up their flowering.
Those are actually almost best just left to do their thing. They're a large shrub, but they're kind of, they don't react real well with a lot of pruning. So I'd probably be waiting till spring, wait till after winter to reprune, to shape them up some. But I wouldn't be doing a lot of pruning on those. I've seen those actually get killed off when they've been pruned, over-pruned.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. You helped me on two different ones.
All right.
If you trim them at the wrong time, you won't have flowers.
That's right. So, yeah, I would wait till spring on the dewdrops. Yep.
Thank you for the call. I sent you some photos this week.
Yes. Oh, that's right.
Of a yellow lemon tree.
Yes, very yellow lemon tree.
And growth is fantastic.
Right.
It's bushy and growing good and everything, but it's very yellow, and it should be dark green.
It should be a nice dark green color.
And you said it may be nitrogen deficient. Explain that.
That's what I was seeing. Even though they've been fed, I'm wondering if it's where it's at.
We didn't feed the last citrus feed. We didn't do.
Okay.
We didn't do. The ruby red seems to be okay with not doing it.
Right.
The lemon tree does not. So now we're going to put some just good old Miracle Grow in there, you said?
I said I would probably put the citrus fertilizer down, and I would probably hit it with some all-purpose, Miracle Grow. You're looking for that high nitrogen,
right.
And that something like a Miracle Grow, that kind of thing.
Because it didn't bloom or anything.
Right.
Well,
now the nitrogen's not going to give you bloom. That's green growth.
Yeah, but it didn't even because it was so yellow. It never bloomed.
It's right.
Where the grapefruit bloomed. Did.
Grapefruit are much more robust. Growers, they're hardier, right? Hardier trees. The leaves are usually larger.
They are much larger.
Yeah, and that's why when they do the grafting,
and it grows faster. It's growing faster.
Yes, it is. And I'm wondering if that lemon tree's not in a bad spot. I mean, even though it's not that far away from the other one, if there's not something up underneath there that's either if it's staying wet, if it's if it's on a weird part of the slope in the lawn, maybe.
Well, it's on the slope, but it's on the flat part. The slope right behind it slopes into the ditch.
Into the ditch behind, right?
And it's closest. The lemon tree is closest to the cul-de-sac. Not the cul-de-sac. The pipe underneath my driveway that holds water.
And so it may be staying a little too wet in that one. It might be a thought that of moving that one. I hate to say that.
Okay, we're going to try that. We're going to try the other stuff first.
Try to fertilize it first and see if it doesn't perk back
up. By the way,
up.
the most important of the two trees
is the lemon tree.
100%.
Oh, yeah.
The grapefruit trees for me, the lemon trees for Mama.
Lemon trees are for beverages and
the lemon trees for Mama, who's a juicer.
Yeah.
And she's wanting the lemon zest and everything.
Yep.
So
for cooking, for drinks, for.
I want my grapefruit tree. My grapefruit tree to eat some grapefruit.
Yeah.
And then give me some mixer for my Deep Eddy's vodka.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
I'm adult. I can say Deep Eddy's vodka.
Yes, you can. Yes,
I'm
you
an
can.
adult.
Well,
But when I sent those to you, you sent me back immediately. You went, ooh, that's yellow.
Yeah, yes, I did. And then I did send you the link to the University of Florida, just because looking at it, I wanted you to see the pictures of that, on the descriptions, because it's like the whole tree.
Because the growth of it is fine.
Growth is fine, and it's just evenly yellow.
Right.
It looks like somebody just sucked all the chloroform
out of it. It looks like those leaves could be
are
lemons.
supposed to be yellow.
Yeah, it does.
Or that they're supposed to be yellow.
It looks like the tree is supposed to be a yellow tree.
Yes. And
that's why I didn't think much about it, because it looked that way, and I went, well, maybe it's supposed to be yellow. I don't know.
No, they should be
a
nice. Yeah, they should be a nice dark green, or at least a much more green than chartreuse yellow.
And that's what I'm saying. Is people don't understand. This is like people getting jealous at leaf changing yellow.
Right,
the color,
right. Yeah, these are bright.
People coming into your yard up in North Carolina going, how'd you get such yellow leaves?
The grass is darker green.
Yes.
And they're just evenly yellow. I would also see if you can get that grass out from around them.
Okay. Maybe
get
choking
that,
a little bit.
Yeah, we usually try to keep the grass out to what the canopy of the tree is. So that's about 3 feet across?
Probably.
Yeah. So I just cut all that grass out of there. Don't mulch it or anything. Just dig that out of there. And just keep it because that might be stealing from
some
them
more,
too.
because grass fights for food as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's one of those things that I didn't know much about
right.
when I got into it, but I'm learning.
Yes.
Yeah. You know what else is? I couldn't believe this happened. The bell peppers are just still.
Oh, my peppers are
peppers.
just full of flowers, ready to go. Green beans are up.
She took 2 fresh bell peppers the other day. Chopped them up into some breakfast eggs and ham.
Oh, there you go.
What you talking about?
Yeah.
Man.
Oh, yeah. Just too good and sweet.
And I don't know if it's any better than the bell pepper in the grocery store, but the fact that it grew on the side of my house makes it better.
They taste better. Tomatoes taste better. Green beans taste better. Grow green peanuts at your house and make your boiled peanuts. They taste better than even buying, a half bush.
I'm pretty good at the boiled peanut thing.
Yeah.
Being from Georgia and everything. But I don't even cook boiled peanuts anymore.
Oh, so I haven't cooked them in a while, but it's.
I have a friend down here
that makes them.
That does such a good job that I just quit doing it. I was like, I can't compete with that. So now I buy the half. I'll go buy.
Oh, you buy them and have them cook
give him
them.
some money and have him cook them.
Yeah.
He the same. I can cook a good green. Don't get me wrong. I could cook. Same guy that cooks the peanuts, cooks greens.
Oh.
Now I just go buy the greens.
Buy a bunch of greens.
Buy ham hocks. So here you go. And your
what else you need?
Your payment is you get half of what I just gave
whatever
you.
the mess.
Right. Yeah. I mean, because that once you find somebody that can cook peanuts or greens real well, like I know for a fact the best peanuts not cooked by my buddy in this area are sold by that woman that sells them at the corner of 17 and 40 in Astor.
Oh, okay.
The lady that sells
I know.
them.
I know. I've gotten peanuts from her before, but there used to be one.
You know where she's from? What? Georgia.
There used to be, and she's probably deceased because it's been like a million years, and she was a little old lady at that point. Going to Jacksonville, and I want to say it might have been in Lottie.
Yep.
She was a little bitty side of the road.
Yep. That
hut that had a stove, and her pot sat on top of the stove. She didn't have a burner.
Nope.
She had to step up on a little step in order to stir. But oh my goodness, there were some good boiled peanuts.
It was in Lottie.
Yeah.
It was in Lottie.
And she couldn't have stood more than about 4'8".
She was 4'8", 4'9".
Maybe.
And her sister was also the lady, when you were driving through Lottie, you saw the boiled peanuts. Then you saw the big Lincoln Continental that had all the Raggedy Ann dolls that were for sale and everything. Life-size Raggedy Ann dolls. That was her sister that made those Raggedy Ann dolls.
Because I know it was her grandson who used to help her at the
peanut place.
Yeah.
The reason I know all this, my second wife, she's from Lottie.
Okay. But that was, it was always like, okay, wait a minute, we're getting near Lottie. Got to keep an eye out for peanuts.
I knew one of the 83 people that lived in Lottie.
Yeah.
83 people with a police force of 60.
Is it needed? Yeah, probably.
Hey, the 2 places in Florida that were always listed by AAA,
Lottie
and Lottie.
And Stark.
Stark was never listed like Lottie.
Yeah.
AAA told you.
Oh, yeah.
Waldo, Florida, Lottie, Florida, 5 miles under the speed limit.
Yeah.
Now, Waldo is no longer that way.
No, they've changed.
They don't have a police department anymore.
Yeah, they got busted big time. So.
But Lottie, when you drive through Lottie,
slow down.
Slow down to 5 under the speed limit. 5 under the speed limit. And it's not like you got to hurry anymore because they built that bypass around Stark.
That was sweet. I didn't even know that was there till I went up there the last time.
Is that not the greatest?
That was sweet. I almost didn't know where I was.
Carol Ann, where can they find you?
They can find me on the In the Garden Facebook group page or down there at Lowe's. Except after today, don't look for me next week. I'm going to be off for the rest of the week.
You'll be gone a while.
I'll be gone the rest of the week. Gonna enjoy some time off.
The rest of the week.
Yeah.
I may need you to come over and do something with that lemon tree.
Lemon tree. Take a look. Give me a call.
I have adult beverages that I
can be bribed.
That's exactly it.
I can be bribed.
It's all about bartering.
That's it.
It's all about bartering. Carol Ann Baldwin every week with In the Garden with Master Gardener Carol Ann Baldwin. Carol Ann, talk to you next week.
Yep, see you next week.
We'll be right back after this timeout with Matt Gibbs, Sunrise Auto repair with personal care with Sunrise Auto, next on WOCA, The Source.
Broadcasting from the Ocala International Airport, this is WOCA AM, W242CA FM, Ocala, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.